Yeah. Yeah. So what's been going on? It's been a minute since we did a podcast.
Nobody
we
knows, but
a few days ago. But
yeah, it has been a
the
minute.
people, the concerned people, our listeners,
That's true.
don't know what you've been up to.
Our listener.
Actually, so our listenership has actually ramped up a lot lately.
Cool.
We used to get like between 2 and 5 downloads a day, but for the past week we've gotten at least 10 downloads a day.
Wonderful.
Like we're well past 300 now.
That's great.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Sure.
And I actually been meaning to talk to you about this. So I started actually not spamming the Buckethead Reddit, which is very like. So I made a post about like interview questions for Maximum Bob about Buckethead, and I was like, hey, I got a interview with Maximum Bob, who we were supposed to interview today, but he has COVID, so
Yikes.
we're not going to, because what the fuck.
Yeah, wishing Maximum Robert the best, of course.
Yes. I hope he has a maximum recovery. Absolutely. He's a very, very talented individual, and I was really looking forward. I have a full list of great questions to ask the guy. I'm really interested in what he's all about, but that can wait for another time until he is, tip-top shape again. And if you're listening, Maximum Bob, please heal easy. We're looking forward to talking to you, brother.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
But yeah. What have you been up to? What's the game?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I've been kicking it, I cleaned my house today. I made a day pizza. That's a pizza that you make during the day instead of at night.
I get that. Can I pause you real quick there?
Okay.
All but one podcast now, you've talked about cleaning your house. We get it, okay?
I'm a filthy man. Like, what can I say? I'm
so
just
am
making
I,
all
but
these
I don't
messes.
talk about like the things I do to try to remedy it. Like, I don't.
It's become a new fascination of mine to keep my house really clean. You see, because for a long time I wasn't wasn't the best at keeping up on that stuff.
It's actually, I mean, you live in like technically like a studio, and it's hard to keep a studio tidy. I lived in one for several years, and I mean, with that little space and with that amount of things that you have, it's not easy at all.
Yeah, so I got rid of a bunch of shit. I got like barely anything now. It's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. Minimalism is a cool.
Oh hell yeah!
Like it's a cool feeling too, because you don't have shit to worry about. Like, I've got all this shit I haven't touched in years, and I'm just like, God, I need to just like sell this on eBay, but I don't have the time.
Yeah,
or the patience.
Like the wherewithal, I believe, is like preferred
nomenclature. I guess so. Yeah.
Like,
is there a service where like you can just give someone like a shitload of stuff and be like, hey, you can have like 50%, just sell it all on eBay?
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
I'm pretty sure people do that for money.
Yeah, I guess, like eBay consignment. Yeah, that's gotta be a thing.
Yeah.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah.
That sounds like a thing I need to do, because I just have so much shit that I don't want.
Yeah.
I just don't want.
Get rid of it. If it don't bring you joy, get rid of it.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I've got so many instruments I just never play. Like, at this point, like, I've got a lot of fucking cool, amazing sounding basses, but I'm like, I mean, I only need 2 of them, really. I need my 6-string. I like having a fretted just to fuck around with it, so I want to keep that one, but a 4 and a 6-string fretless, like the fucking, oh god, that Midnight, that black bass, the ebony one, that's like the best sounding bass ever. God, I fucking love how that bass sounds.
Biggest, blackest bass.
Oh god, no, like the ebony fretboard on a fretless just takes it to the next level. Like, that thing goes wah with every note you play. Like, the sustain is weird and spooky, and oh god, like, I love.
You love some spooky sustain,
I do.
That's really what you want.
I love fretless too, because it speaks to the whole instrument. Like, you actually get like the sound of what the instrument's made out of in a big way.
Sure.
And it's lovely.
Love me some fretless. Sounds good. I was listening to a band with some fretless bass in it. I was listening to that band the other day. Obscura.
Obscura is so good.
Yeah,
so good. I mean, they're not great though. They're just so good.
So they're
like
their
everyone
album from a couple of years ago. It's called Diluvium or something. It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I like that one a lot. I think that's the best one they put out. It's really good.
God,
Like,
you know
really
who else had
catchy
a really
songs.
good fretless bassist was it Anata? You remember them?
Anata? Yeah.
Anata?
They
yeah,
have,
yeah.
I don't remember fretless bass in that band. Who are you
Oh, no, I'm thinking of Augury.
Oh,
Augury's
yeah,
so
yeah.
fucking good.
Hell
Augury's so
yeah.
goddamn good.
Yeah. I think it's the same guy in Obscura from Augury, Forrest. Pretty sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, okay, so Augury had like 5 bassists.
The
though.
one that played when we played with him.
Okay, yeah. Which is so weird because they were like, all of their bass parts were insanely technical and amazing, and required like to be able to play like 6-string fretless in a metal way, which is not something you see often. But this band found like 5 different bass players that could like do it, like in the same area in Canada, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like in Montreal or wherever they're fucking from, like. Are they just Sorry, where are they from?
Quebec or Montreal, one of those.
Quebec, yeah. They're just like breeding these amazing like neoclassical 6-string fretless bassists, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, no.
Yeah.
Like,
that's just sometimes that's what the way the bass rumbles.
Yeah, it does. It certainly does.
I saw a pretty good tweet today. I'm just gonna. That's what I guess this podcast is. Just me reciting tweets to you.
No, it's. I mean, this podcast. My best hope is that it's like a meme, basically, like something people can make fun of in a cultural way. Like, why did anyone do this?
Well, yeah, truly, why?
Yeah, I mean, it was your idea, really, truly. Why? Tell me, please. I'm still trying to figure it out, and this is episode 10.
Episode X, if you will.
We're like more than 10% done with this project at this point. Ish.
Yeah, I guess that's true. We're about 10%. A little bit less, but
it's gonna take us 95, I would say, altogether episodes to do this whole thing.
Okay.
And we've done 2 bonus episodes, and we'll probably do a lot more.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Love that bonus episode vibe.
The bonus episodes are great.
Low pressure, low effort.
Exactly. It's like you can listen to it says bonus episode. It's not like we're actually like saying anything meaningful. So if you want to listen to it. I think they're our funniest ones because they're the things that we're like most familiar with.
Yeah, that's
and it's
true.
Like just but you know that's from a very us perspective. So we think it's super funny because we actually lived it. So
this is us.
We're probably just assholes. This is us. the show. Yes, definitely.
Thusly.
Do you wanna get this mother father on the road?
Yeah, I do.
All right, let's do it.
Hey, I'm Spencer.
And I'm Britain Ryan Straw.
Since 2011, Buckethead has released 284 albums in his Pikes series, and we're going to listen to them.
3 at a time.
This is Getting Head,
a Bucketcast.
Parentheses, intro music, parentheses.
Welcome, bot slogs, friends, and Bucketheads. This is episode 10 of Gettin' Head, a Bucketcast.
Wow, look at that.
No.
Britt,
that's how we do.
Britt.
That's how we do. What's going on in
Britt?
What?
Britt.
Yeah.
What's up?
What's up? I mean,
what's up? Tell me what's up.
That's a pretty big question. Like in my so
the proverbial
man. Oh, you know, a little bit's up. So sickness going around, dog. I was sick for like the last week. It was bad.
Terrible.
And my sickness like had this weird tangential health negative effect in that I had to stay in bed for so long, and I was so like achy and sore that like when I got up, like somehow I overstrained my back or something. And so in the last like week or so, I've been dealing with like heavy sciatica because I slipped a disc in my back. And so, like,
terrible.
my sciatic nerve on my left leg is just going fucking nuts. So it hurts to, like, walk or sit or, like, do anything but stand completely still or lie down.
Do you T-pose when you stand? Do you put your arms out?
No, I don't do that.
Okay. Wow, that sucks a lot. So what have you been doing about it?
So I have some muscle relaxers from some back stuff I had a while ago. So I've been taking some muscle relaxers, and those are super nice, but they make me like really super tired and weird. So I don't take them like when I get up for work because I'm still tired, and I'm like, I'm just gonna fall asleep while I'm driving, and I'm scared of that. So like as soon as I get to work, I take some muscle relaxers, and then work is kind of cool. And you know, I've taken them in front of my boss. I'm like, I gotta take these muscle relaxers. Shit.
Okay.
And they're like, yeah, okay.
That's what you gotta do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had to work like a half shift the other day.
No.
And so I was working in the evening, and in the early part of the day, dude, I was just like getting high. I was just fucking ripping bong hits and taking edibles and just, doing my shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll give it like a buffer, and I'll be fine by the time I go to work, which, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, it didn't work, did it?
Well, no, it did work. It's just like I got really high and forgot I had to go to work. So I ate more edibles like about an hour before I was supposed to go to work.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, wait, dang it. All right. So I went to work and I was like, whoa, wow, I'm high here. Oh, wow, oh, he. And it was good. It was chill, wasn't too bad. It was actually okay. Worked out all right. But what hasn't happened to me in a while, So
Yeah.
I experienced that.
Yeah, so I don't get high before work at all anymore. Mostly because, like, I just get up in the morning and I'm still, like, probably a little stoned from the night before. And,
yeah.
you know.
I generally don't ever get high before work because it's like, why bother?
Yeah.
Like, I would rather just get high when I get home.
Exactly. And, that way you kind of, like, you don't just like maintain a high and not get more high when you come home.
Exactly.
You get to have the relaxation benefit of getting high at home.
But when you wake up at 9 a.m. and you don't have to work until 5 p.m.
Oh, fuck that.
Bruh. Like, I'm going to be getting fucking high.
Yeah, right? Of course.
For that day.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, what else am I supposed to do?
That's for real.
I don't think I've ever had like bad experiences being high at work. I've been really high at some jobs.
Yeah.
And I know you've been very high at some jobs.
I've been too high at some jobs. So like
what's the highest you've ever been at work? I think I know the answer to this, but I want you to answer it anyway.
Yeah. So when medical weed was a thing, I had a medical card because I'm honestly like I have had a lot of back issues since I was very young. Like, and I've been in physical therapy since I was like 17 years old. And honestly, weed is great medicine. Weed helps a lot.
Yeah.
Like CBD is a great thing, and just THC also is very fucking helpful for pain.
Yeah.
And so, like, I always used it medically, but I also always used it recreationally.
I used to smoke weed. I mean, I still do.
Yeah.
I used to
too. Yeah. R.I.P. Mitch Hedberg.
R.I.P.
But so back in the medical days, they didn't have limits on like any type of concentrate or edibles or anything. And now, with the Liquor Control Board in Washington, who's regulating weed now, they won't let any one serving of a weed edible be more than 10 milligrams. And so, like, you can get like a big pack of stuff that equals like 150 or 200 milligrams, but it's like a ton of candy.
You can also get like the drinks that are like 100 milligrams.
You can, and so they don't have as much regulations on the drinks, but those drinks that are 100 milligrams are usually like $30-$40. They're like pretty expensive.
Depends on where you go.
Yeah. But so back in the day, when you were in medical, like, there were these things called FUBAR chews, which were basically like Tootsie Rolls with 150 milligrams of pure THC in each of them.
Jesus God.
And so, like, one day when at work, a lot of the times, like, I take my last break maybe like half an hour before I get off work so I could just go back, finish up my stuff, and get off, right? And so, like,
yeah.
a bunch of that time, I'd I'd just, like, eat a FUBAR chew, like, before I got off work, and so that way when I actually was off work, I was
it kicks in
starting
right when you get out of work.
Exactly,
yeah.
right?
Oh,
and
I know the move.
Yeah, it's a great move, right? But one time, when I was working at Whole Foods in South Lake Union, Seattle.
That's a HOLE Foods.
Yes.
Just in case anybody's wondering.
Yes. Whole Foods, because I like those holes, baby.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I like food, so I was like, why not work here? But
makes sense.
So it was before it was owned by Amazon, but also like right when Amazon started moving into that area. So we are like, and I was working as like a kitchen supervisor in that time, and it was fucking insane. Like, we were the top deli in any Whole Foods for quite a while, and it was way too much work for way too little pay. It was garbage.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
Yeah. But but anyway, there was this little venue in that Whole Foods called the Sea Smoke Cafe that was right next to both the meat and seafood department. And the idea was it was kind of a loss leader for the entire store, but an attraction to the store where you could go lunchtime, dinner time, whenever, and go buy any cut of meat or any cut of fish and bring it to the Sea Smoke Cafe, and we would cook it for you, like, in any way you wanted. So, like, it was actually manned by some very, very, very competent cooks. Myself being one of them, who was not competent, but like, I mean,
we assumed that
to be able to, like, cook, like, 40 different cuts of meat and poultry and pork and lamb, and like 20 or 30 different types of fish and scallops, shrimp, lobster, crab, seafood, like, that takes a lot of culinary talent.
You gotta know what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. And so they decided, they paid him bullshit, and it was a garbage situation. But it made me into a much better cook, and I know exactly what to do with, like, every type of meat at any time now, which is really wonderful. Every type of meat, every type of meat, every type of meat, every type of meat, every type of meat. But so one day, going back to the story of being too high, as I am right now.
As we all are, as one does, really.
One day, about half an hour before I got off work, and this is when I subbed in the Sea Smoke Cafe quite a bit, and I was like a frequent, like, breakfast cook in our breakfast venue too. So I was known to be a super versatile cook, as I am. And one day, like, half an hour before I got off, I'm like, I'm gonna take 2 FUBAR chews, 300 pure milligrams of THC, just see what happens. And so I did that. Sure. And then, like,
how long was this before you got off of work?
Half an hour.
Oh, okay. So
I take my 10, and then I work 20 more minutes just to, like, wrap up whatever paperwork or whatever I need to, and then
sure,
head out. That's how I prefer to do stuff. Ready to go, get off. Yeah, I like to take my last break at, like, the end of my shift. Just to, like, tie things up and, whatever. So I take 2 FUBAR chews and go back to work, and I'm, like, just finishing up, and, like, 5 minutes before my shift is ended, my manager comes to me and they're like, Britt,
oh no,
can you help manage Sea Smoke right now? Like, we got one cook there. We need someone to at least, like, work the register and do like prep and, like, sides. And, like, you're the only person here who can do it. And I'm like, all right. which was a dumb idea, but like
I would have been like,
I was
no.
I was getting paid like $14 to be no, I was getting paid I think like 15 in management, which is like goddamn garbage, even like the early 2010s.
Totally.
And so I needed the money, so I'm like, I'll take the overtime, and so I go out there, and I remember one interaction very specifically, and it was for a very basic menu thing. This guy comes up and he's like, hey, could I get a cheeseburger with provolone and a side of fries, and could I also get the side salad with ranch too? And I was like, all right, cool, yeah. Hamburger. Did you want cheese on that? It's like, yeah, I'll provolone. Like, oh, okay, cool. Did you want any sides or just the burger? He was like, I asked for fries and a salad. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, yes, you did. Did you want dressing for that salad? And it was like a bunch of interactions just like that, about just like me being bewildered that like people are actually asking for things and expecting me to remember them at all. But
sure, when
you pay your workers bullshit, expect them to get fucking high at work.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
No.
Oh man, what? Okay, so 300 milligrams is a lot.
It is a lot of THC.
That is a lot.
It's not the most I've consumed. 420 of this year, I consumed a pure gram of pure THC.
Cool.
It was all right. I was just like sleepy and like, whoa, and I was high way into the next day.
But like that cool 300 at work seems like, because like I would say that 100 is enough to knock out most people, like even people with like very high tolerances for weed. Like, yeah,
for me that's kind of for me that's kind of my threshold though of like actually getting high. It's like I don't usually get high until I hit like 80 to 100 milligrams of pure THC. Even when it comes to like like one of these guys right here. Okay.
Was that Rick Simpson oil?
Yeah. RSO.
Yeah.
That's that good shit.
Sick.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that must have been a time. Did you have to? Well, okay. One more follow-up question. Did you have to like cook anything, and did you fuck it up?
No. So I did have to cook a lot of things, and I did great at it.
Wonderful.
That's the thing, is like that is a skill that I've been so high at for so long that I don't have that I know I can do it. Because like when I cook at home, I'm always high as fuck.
Yeah.
And I've been doing that forever. And when I was at work for a long time and cooking, I was always high as fuck. And so, you know, and so when you develop a skill when you're a certain way, that skill is developed in your certain way. And maybe I might be a better cook when I'm sober. Who knows? Probably not, actually. Because
I love cooking when I'm stoned. Like I love to get like all fucked up, and I'm like, ooh, feeling like a wizard, feeling like a wizard, feeling like a wizard, feeling like a wizard, feeling like a wizard. You know, and it's like, it's just good.
Yeah,
it's just good.
I get it.
You know,
feeling like a wizard.
But yeah, you know, I have cooked sober a lot at food places that I've worked. And that's fine too. But yeah. Food industry, man.
Yeah, but it's not cool.
Don't get paid enough.
It doesn't. Never. There's
so
no
I kind of miss it sometimes, honestly. Like I kind of miss the restaurant work because there's something about it. Like like you work a closing shift, right? You get out at like 10 or 11 p.m. and like you've just cleaned so much shit. And you've made so much shit, and you've got tips in your pocket, and you're like, fuck yeah, the night is young. I'm feeling like I'm filled with fucking power right now. Like, it's a vibe, You know,
It is.
I kind of miss that sometimes. But
No, I kind of miss like the feeling of like camaraderie, like the society of being a cook is something that's like, I don't know, like kitchens are a lot more tight knit than any other type of workplace. They're
very tight knit, yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
It's
like a lot of it is like bonding over how much bullshit it is.
And
Like
that's really what it is.
It's
like, you know, like you know, in a workplace, like I've worked my way up in the grocery world to where like I keep going to like more and more I guess liberal grocery stores. You know, they just have like more liberal philosophies, and they're like, who fucking cares? And so now I'm in a grocery store to where like people wear shirts that say like fuck cops, and like no one cares. That's like a thing we all believe. And like if a customer or a cop comes in and is like, what are you doing wearing that shirt at work? The manager will be like, you need to get out of here. Like, that's a valid belief. That's a political belief that they have. That's fine. Not against their dress code.
Nice.
Which is amazing. Like I'm at I believe one of the least dress coded public places in the world.
Cool.
It's good. It's good.
Sounds good.
It is.
I'm here for it.
Yeah. At the
great.
same time, I don't know how long that place is gonna be there.
Yowza.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
Bazinga. Is that what they say?
Apparently,
I actually I've never watched that show, the Bazinga show, whatever it's called.
Big Bang Theory.
I've never watched it. What?
Big Bang Theory. Big Bang Mom.
I'm thinking of Young Sheldon.
Bong Foray.
I've never watched that show. Never in my life. I've never heard a person utter the word bazinga. Other than in theory. That's a joke for no one. I love that joke though. Necrophagist released another album. Come on.
No, straight up. We do. They did like Epitaph, and then the dude released like one more song, and that's it.
Yeah.
And now he's like an engineer somewhere in Germany. What the fuck, Mohammed Shumez?
He works for BMW.
If you're listening to this, you're not. Make another fucking album. Like hit us up. Hit us
Mohammed
up.
Semisiez.
Come on.
Make another fucking album, bro.
Hit us up. We'll wreck shit with you. Hit us up, Mohammed Shumez.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. I heard that he works for BMW.
No.
He's like an engineer of some kind.
But he's a motorcycle engineer.
Oh, weird. Maybe.
I bet. He seems like he might be.
Possibly.
No.
Yeah. I got to see that band though. I got to see him once. That was cool. Only Ash remains. Classic band, classic bangers.
Yeah,
classic
I really. So, Necrophagist is one of the two bands I would credit with like actually like making me enjoy death metal on a non-ironic level, because I really ironically enjoyed Cannibal Corpse for a long time. And I still do. They're not. I mean, God, how do I put Cannibal Corpse? I mean, they're the worst death metal band to be the biggest death metal band. Like they're just like Alex Webster is awesome, but they're like a very average death metal band besides Alex Webster.
I actually do agree. I mean, yeah. They have some catchy songs, which is like they've had
a couple really good guitarists, but only a couple out of their 6 guitarists that they've had. So
though that whole story about their guitar player and how he was like breaking into people's houses on meth, and then they like raided his house and found a bunch of human skulls.
Yeah, that was so good,
so amazing.
Yeah, and he wrote that song like
I have guns in my house for murder.
Yeah.
My home is filled with skulls.
Yeah, that's right. He had a bunch of guns and a bunch of skulls, which is so fucking dope, man.
Dude, that's so dope.
I love that energy. Like, I'm there for this. I'm there for
100%.
100%.
Brit.
Yeah.
Brit. I need to ask you a personal favor.
Yeah.
I need you to hit me with the bucket facts.
Bucket fact, bucket fact,
Bucket fact,
bucket fact, bucket fact.
Oh, wow. I'm glad you asked. I have an interesting one today. So,
Oh, hit me.
has to do with the origin of how Buckethead came to play for Guns N' Roses.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, this is according to a couple interviews that I read, both with Josh Freese, who was the drummer for Guns N' Roses from like 96 to 2001. He's also played with Nine Inch Nails and A Perfect Circle.
Okay.
Matt mentioned him on another podcast, and that was where we learned that Buckethead makes his own soundtracks for the Disneyland rides, you know?
Right.
So, yeah. So, according to Josh Freese, Axl Rose first became aware of Buckethead through Buckethead's newly released album Monsters and Robots in like 99, which Buckethead was promoting while touring with Primus.
Okay.
And so he says that Axl called Buckethead in November of 99 and invited him to his house for a Christmas party. At the time, Buckethead was apprehensive and kind of iffy on joining Guns N' Roses because it really, quote, wasn't really his kind of thing. So,
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, definitely. Later in 2002, press release for Buckethead's album Bermuda Triangle, Freese recounted the meeting of Axl Rose and Buckethead, saying, at a 1999 Christmas party at Axl Rose's house, the Guns N' Roses leader, whom he had never met before, presented Buckethead with a gift, a hard-to-find Leatherface doll no one else had given him. And Buckethead would later tell MTV, stating he took the gesture as a sign that Axl must understand me somehow. So
interesting. Okay, that is weird.
Yeah, Buckethead joined Guns N' Roses 4 months later, or 4.5 months later, in March 2000. So
weird. Okay, so you gave him a Leatherface doll.
Yeah,
and Buckethead's like, yeah, okay, this guy gets me. Which sure.
right, definitely. So, but after that, Buckethead still hadn't joined until March of 2000. And the way he joined was, according to drummer Brian Mantilla, also known as Brain, who has played in several projects with Buckethead, including Les Claypool's Bucket of Bernie Brains, and he's the brain in that. And Bucket is the bucket, obviously. Bernie is Bernie Worrell
he's the brains
from Parliament.
That bucket,
And, you know, Les Claypool is fucking weird in himself.
Oh yeah.
So, but according to Brain, he signed his contract with Axl at Disneyland. I think Axl went to Disneyland and they signed on the Haunted Mansion. As he was on the ride, he signed the contract.
Oh, fuck yeah.
In a forum post in December of 2008, Axl Rose stated, "I'm pro-Disney, go about once a year. Went with Buckethead a lot."
Oh man, wouldn't it be amazing just to tag along with those two at Disneyland?
That would be something else, yeah, right?
Do you think that when Buckethead is not doing Buckethead things, does he wear the bucket? Like, when he went out with Axl Rose, did he wear the bucket?
I don't think so. I think he's got a. I think he tries to, like, I don't know. So, man, have you listened to?
Okay, here's why I asked the question.
Yeah.
I asked the question because, like, I'm assuming that people would probably recognize Axl Rose, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and so if Buckethead's like, hey, people are going to recognize Axl Rose, I should probably, buck it up, as he probably said.
True, but at the same time, like, we don't have any pictures of Buckethead at Disneyland, which is, yeah. So, one thing I would really recommend you listen to, and all listeners listen to, actually, if you want to, like, try to get head, is there's a podcast from 2017 called Coming Alive, and it's called A Conversation with Buckethead. And it's a guy who I think is actually Buckethead's therapist talking to him.
Okay. Yeah, I was told about this. My friend Max told me about this.
Oh, the Max we both know?
Yes.
Excellent. Excellent.
A coupon app. Yo, I'm loving the shit out of this coupon app. But my phone's so cracked that the screen won't stamp. I'm like, damn, I like this coupon app. Yo, I'm chilling at the mall with that Cinnabon freshness. They always so expensive, but my homie, you got check this. Last batch of the day, they usually toss at least one tray, and so I rummage through they trash and make a Cinna dash away. When I'm at a restaurant, I get lemons with my water, then use a table sugar, mix it up and make an order. It's like getting paid free lemonade, cause I saved the money that I would've gave for something I can make for free, and it just makes no sense to me when I can make it gratis and I don't have to spend the least. Don't try to fleece me, you'll get beat. See, coupon clipping game ain't easy. Wizards hate, they can't relate. The savings count just don't amount to zeros that I got. Heroes get dropped, claiming bankruptcy, while us coupon wizards get it for free.
Shut the fuck up. Oh my god. Okay, we listened to some Buckethead albums.
We certainly
right?
did.
We did.
Oh, man. So, Pikes 28, 29, and 30.
That's correct.
Feathers, Splatters, and Mannequin Cemetery.
I like that title a lot.
Yeah. My general impression of these 3 Buckethead albums was pretty boring metal. I don't know about you. Not a huge fan of all 3 of these.
Yeah, I liked Mannequin Cemetery the most out of them.
Mm-hmm. I'd say the same.
We'll get
Feathers is okay too. Splatters, I didn't like at all.
Oh my god. Okay, we'll get there. there. Okay. So Pike number 28, Feathers. Can you tell me when it was released?
October 3rd, 2013.
Thank you.
Oh.
My very first note here: return of baritone guitar. Baritone guitar is a common theme among these
or
three
downtone.
records.
Yeah, all 3 of these albums definitely have downtune guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Or baritone. I'm not sure which.
Yeah.
Just, there
were some interesting parts in Feathers. I thought that Feathers, like the first half of Feathers at least, was like kind of diverse. There's a little bit of like, there was a song called Faded, and part of it just sounded like sludge metal pirate music. That's what my note here says.
Yeah, he used a lot of like whammy pedal and synth envelope on that one. He used so much whammy pedal, synth envelope, and octave pedal on all this album. Like, I feel like this album was like him just like experimenting with like 3 new pedals he got, basically.
Yeah.
You know, it's okay and riffy and stuff, but like, I don't know, like, so you know what's one thing I noticed he did on like all 3 of these albums a ton. It's just like the same guitar on this. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah. He did like very similar runs. It was, I don't know. These 3 albums are actually like pretty cohesive as albums together, but like they don't bring anything new to the table. They're kind of, I don't know, not fantastic.
Sure, I agree.
No.
But Feathers specifically. So the first half of it is very much like fairly traditional Bucket stuff. There's a little bit of weirdness,
excuse me.
right? And then
Bucket stuff.
Bucket stuff.
Cool. Continue.
Some fairly traditional stuff there. But then there's a track, and I didn't actually write down what the name of it was. That's just like ambient sounds. And
yeah. Like, no. That was so Cactus Spines, track 5, was beautiful, weird, and like it was like, so what I wrote about Cactus Spines was wow, what? A highly harmonic song played on electric guitar with very little gain.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure.
It's basically an ambient track.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there was actually a consistent melody or form that he was like following. But it was super odd and ambient, and it could have been done in one take by someone who's not a very skilled guitarist.
Probably. Yeah.
But the fact that he played it makes me like actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I actually really
Yeah,
liked that song.
Mm-hmm,
Probably it was probably my favorite song on all three of the albums.
So I liked the first half of this album. I thought was okay, and then I liked that ambient track.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it is just wheedly,
So much
stuff
wheedles.
that's
So
for the
much.
rest of the album. Okay. And that stuff
It's like
gets
it's like the
exhausting.
first like hour and a half of Pokemon, just so many Weedles. Dog.
Okay, nice. That was a
What's
good
up?
poll.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. So I don't know. It was all right. Feathers was all right. Not
It was
it's-
all right.
Yeah, probably on my bottom 10 so far.
Sure.
Not great, but fine.
Fine. Yeah.
Lots of synth envelopes, lots of shred, lots of octave pedals, lots of like doubling the bass and guitar.
I would say that this one could be the soundtrack to some kind of horror ride, based on like that ambient track, the more aggressive like wheedly stuff. There's some like heavier riffs in there here and there. It could do some horror stuff.
Right,
Like,
right. And
for sure.
so the pacing of the album isn't bad because it does have, it kind of like devolves into that slow song and then just like gets a little funky with the octave pedal in the next song and ends with a super shreddy, intense tapping shit with no bass, which is kind of dumb.
Yeah. Not a lot to say about this one. It's okay. It's not one I would recommend to somebody that hasn't listened to the Pikes. But if you're listening to the Pikes, if you're doing a marathon like we're doing, I guess listen to it.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's fine. It's
fine.
It's not great. It's fine though.
It's not great, but it's
You know.
fine. Now, Pike 29.
Splatters.
Can I read a note that I have?
Yeah, please do.
Okay, so firstly, I just want to say one positive thing about this album.
Okay.
That it has my favorite album cover so far of the Pikes. I think it's a really cool album cover, actually.
Okay,
I think the art is cool, and
Excellent.
I wish the album was as cool as the art.
Mm-hmm.
I have a note here. I'm just gonna read all of my notes. It says, "Complete guitar gibberish from start to finish.
Yep.
Almost unlistenable." And then it just says, "Not musical."
Yeah. So this was 4 tracks: Splatter 1, Splatter 2, Splatter 3, and Splatter 4. And the note I have for Splatter 4 is, "Holy shit, more shredding? What the fuck? This album doesn't have a lot of diversity. Not a huge fan. Kinda bad. Bottom 3."
Yeah, the not musical note that I took was during the 4th song. I was like, wow, okay, we're here, huh?
I honestly, I kind of found this one boring. It was
a chore to get through. I'll be honest. Like this one is like, it is just pure like atonal shredding.
Yeah, it's
Like,
like
that is
God.
it.
There was a
Like-
track on the, I think one of the very first albums. One sec here. Let's see if I can find it here. It was the 3rd track on It's Alive, called Peeling Out. And it was just 20 seconds of him like shredding hard. And that was dope. But this is 31 minutes of that, and it's not dope. I get it, like he's good, but he's so much better than just fucking this atonal shreddy shit. You know?
Oh yeah. What's interesting though, and one positive thing I will say about it is albums like this make me appreciate albums like Pike 13 so much more when we get them.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like he's doing this intentionally, which I do think is kind of interesting in like a conceptual form. Like say for example, you like Buckethead are going to release a great number of albums in a very short period of time. Like how do you keep a listener interested? How do you make the highs higher and the lows lower?
Oh,
like
creating false lows in a way.
I feel like maybe there's an idea behind that. I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting.
I think Home Depot is actually working on that.
Oh my God. Oh, I have a story about fucking Home Depot. Wait, no, is it Home Depot?
Or Lowe's?
No, Lowe's. It was Lowe's.
Oh.
I do have a story about Lowe's. Dude, okay, so I went to Lowe's the other day to get some chain.
Isn't that a David Bowie album?
Shut up. Fuck you. Anyways, yeah, I went to Lowe's to get some chain because I was gonna try to hang this thing from my ceiling. So anyways, I go to the chain aisle and I
The chain aisle.
there's a chain aisle. Being a bucket with you, but there's a chain aisle.
Okay.
So I went there and I picked out the chain that I wanted, and then I noticed that like I gotta get somebody to cut the chain for me. Like you're not allowed to use the little chain cutter thing by yourself. So I walk around and find a salesperson. I'm like, hey, I need to get some chain cut. She follows me over, and the chain cutter machine is not working at the time. So she just like, okay, well, I'm gonna go grab somebody else and we'll figure it out. And I was like, okay, cool. So I'm just standing there. Some other guy comes up and he goes, oh yeah, chain machine's broken. We're not selling chain right now. And I'm like, well, can't you just go grab some bolt cutters? It's a hardware store.
Yeah.
like I want to buy some chain. He's like, nah, we're not selling chain right now. And I was like, okay, cool. So that was kind of like the end of that situation there. But then like a bunch of other dumb shit happened. Like before the girl went and got the other dude, like she was asking like how much chain I wanted, right? And I was like, oh, okay, so I need 4 2-foot lengths of chain, so 8 feet total. So she's like, oh, okay, so 2 4-foot lengths of chain? And I was like, no, 4 2-foot lengths of chain, 8 feet total. She's like, okay, so 4 feet of chain. And I was like, no. So 8 divided by 4 is 2. And like, I basically like had to go over this with her like a lot of times, and I was like, what are you missing here? Like, I made it very clear.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what she's missing is a GED.
I don't. I guess I do have a GED.
You do. That's
whatever. Whatever. But anyways, like that happened, and then when I ended up buying some other shit, and I was trying to check out, and like I always have them email me receipts because it's like way easier to keep track of that shit.
Yeah.
It's just better. And so I was like trying to give my email address to this person, and I was like SPE and SER, and she's like SPE SER. And I was like, SPENSER. And she's like, SPESER. And I was like, no, SPENSER. And like, I spelled my name for this woman, like, I swear to God, like a dozen times. And I was doing it slowly. Like, I wasn't like just going super fast. I was just like, hey, you're not spelling it correctly. And I kept having to correct her because she kept typing it in wrong. I was like, dude. Yeah. It's frustrating.
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, Lowe's, I rarely leave reviews. Like sometimes you'll get the thing where it's like, do you want to fill out a survey based on your experience here? And I never do.
Mm-hmm. And
this was one time where I was like, yes, I fucking do. And so I gave them 1 star and everything. And they said everyone was completely fucking incompetent. I don't understand how your business is still in business. And yeah, it was the whole thing.
A hardware store. What do you need? They pay minimum wage for minimum work.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
As is retail.
They should pay those poor people better. Even though I think all those people are incompetent, they should still pay them better.
Yeah.
100%.
Should.
100%.
Let me grab another drink before we get to Mannequin Cemetery.
Yeah, let's take a break.
Let me tell y'all about Reaganomics. It's a trickle-down theory of macroeconomics. It's my favorite system and my favorite topic. Gets me high like the endogrown of fucking hydroponics. And it's blown up big like a bomb that's atomic. It'll clean out your ass like a fucking colonic. Gives a little respite, but it's shaky like tectonics. But like my boys and Lunas, I got 5 on it. It was made by a man with a plan. Rheumatoid arthritis and really shaky hands. He was rich and white and owned a lot of land. So he's like, if I can make it, anybody can. So we propagated a system where the money's trickles down. The rich get all the money and distribute it through town. But that's not how it works and that's not how people act. Reagan took the lower class and he fucked them in the ass. Ronald Reagan, where'd you go? We could have used your wisdom.
Where's Pike?
salad?
Shut up.
What is happening? That's not this podcast. Is it cereal or salad? I can't tell.
What's the difference, dog? Everything is soup when you think about it. It doesn't matter. It's soup. It's a lettuce soup.
Yum. What are you drinking?
Gin and bourbon. Oh no, sorry, gin and bourbon. Ginger bourbon.
Ginger bourbon?
Bourbon ginger. Ginger beer and bourbon.
Oh, okay. Isn't that a dark and stormy?
That's a with rum, I think, right?
I thought that Moscow Mule is ginger beer and vodka, and then
correct.
Dark and stormy is ginger beer and whiskey.
I thought it was rum. Zach.
I could be wrong. I don't know. It's not like I'm going out to bars these days, you know.
It's gonna be ginger beer, dark rum. Yeah, rum.
All right.
That's a rum guy.
Shows you what I know. I don't know shit.
Yeah, it's just a whiskey
except for
ginger.
Bucket shit.
Do you know bucket shit?
Bucket shit.
Bucket shit.
Bucket shit.
All right. Mannequin Cemetery, Pike 30.
Yeah, Pike 30. Oh my gosh, this Pike, in comparison to the previous two records, is a breath of fresh air. Whoa.
Try that again.
is a breath of fresh air.
Released on October 5th, 2013, by the way, which, if we can back up here real quick.
Okay.
The release dates for Pike 28, 29, and 30, respectively, are October 3rd, 2013, then September 26th, 2013, and then October 5th, 2013. So we have another case of...
So what you're telling me is that Buckethead is the time traveler.
Something like that. No, he just announces Pikes, and that's the order that they're actually canonized in, but not necessarily the order they're releasing.
That's the order that they're canon films in.
True. And if you're listening to this podcast, go watch some canon films, especially the Golden Globus films. They're all amazing.
Go watch all of them. They're great.
Start with The Apple. It's my favorite musical. It'll fuck your mind. It'll fuck a lot of things.
It'll Chris Angel mind fuck you.
Oh, straight up. It will mind freak you. So
imagine someone with a Chris Angel tattoo. Can we think about that for a second? Imagine someone who's not Chris Angel with a Chris Angel tattoo.
Of Chris Angel's face, or one that just says mind freak.
Ooh, oh yeah, just says mind freak. That's good. What about a tattoo on your head that says mind freak?
I was thinking of a neck tattoo, right here.
I'm gonna throw something on you. I don't know if you're ready for this. Mind freak on a leash.
I wasn't ready.
That's the name of this episode, by the way.
Mind freak on a leash. I'm okay
with that. Dude, we should watch all of Chris Angel's stuff and provide some live commentary, I think.
Yeah.
We should do that for the internet. I think people would appreciate it.
Yeah. I'll make a cast angel. That doesn't work so well. Anyway,
it's terrible.
So Mannequin Cemetery,
there's some riffs
bad.
here. Yeah.
It's not great. I mean, a lot of it reminded me of 90s alt metal, kind of Primacy here and there, and then Pantera-ish here and there.
So one of my notes here says, oh shit, I lost my notes. Hold on, sorry. It just says Bucket Label Society, which is what this album reminded me of a lot.
No, there was definitely,
There were a lot of riffs where I was like, that could be a Black Label Society riff.
Yeah, either that or Pantera, and also at least track 2, Purse of Holes, was super Megadeth-y to me.
Interesting.
And I found myself making up Megadeth lyrics to the song.
Did you write any of them down?
No, I just kind of sang them to myself, and I was really high. And I mean, this was only 3 hours ago, but still.
Yeah. I listened to them today too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Gotta keep them
Great
fresh in the mind, my brother.
Yeah. Fresh in the bucket mind.
Yeah.
Bucket mind.
Bucket mind. Bucket mind. Yeah, so there was, good salad. A lot of chromatic chugging. A lot of alt metal stuff. A lot of like double kick stuff.
Oh yeah. What I liked about this one though, is that in comparison to the previous record, Splatters, no chromatic shredding. It's just riffs, like which.
Yeah, I mean there's
nice.
lots of chromatic riffs.
Sure, but they're riffs. They're not just like you know.
Yeah, like track 6, Where Rings Were, is a lot of chromatic chugging. And not a ton else. It gets kind of melodic to the end, but you know, it's still like, just chuggy.
This one I think is the best one of this grouping.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I don't think
I hope we can agree. Like, Pike 29 Splatters is the worst one of this grouping, and maybe one of the worst Pikes overall so far. I'm not
honestly. Yeah, I would say like definitely bottom 3 at least.
I wrote that on here. It might actually be my bottom Pike. I think it might be
my
so
least
far.
favorite one thus far.
I mean, it's
just
because
like there's nothing unique about it. It's like it's just shredding, and it's like that's cool. It's cool that Buckethead can do that. It's cool that he can make what is ostensibly an album out of just that, even if it is kind of unlistenable. But it's not fun or good. I don't know. What I will say is this though. It did make me enjoy Mannequin Cemetery a lot more. Yeah. Because it was more like listenable. Like because it's just riffs, right? And a lot of the riffs are actually like pretty fun. Like they're not dumb. And even though like I'm comparing it a lot to Black Label Society, but I like Black Label Society. I'm actually gonna just admit that right now. Like on the record, I objectively like Black Label Society now, and I'm okay with that.
Wait, Spencer, are you drunk and I completely gone?
Drunk and stone completely gone. Yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. I'm gonna listen to that song later.
Yeah, I probably.
It's gonna be good.
It's dumb.
Dude, that song's good. That whole album is good. Blessed Hellride. Like, I don't care what anybody says. I think it's fun as fuck. Listen to Blessed Hellride, listener. It's good.
All right.
Sorta. I don't know.
It's if you're into super chuggy metal with like, decently clean kind of, actually pretty. I'm gonna say this: Zakk Wylde, I think, is a good metal vocalist, straight up.
He's actually like surprisingly good, which is weird.
He's good at harmonizing with himself, and it's like, I mean, he doesn't have a huge range. He only does like 2 octaves, but so does Ozzy, and so he kind of does what Ozzy does, but I think kind of better.
Yeah, and his voice is a lot higher than you would expect. Like if you've never listened to Black Label Society and then you do, you're like, oh, he does falsettos.
He's straight up. He's straight up in like the probably like I don't know, at least like C3 up to maybe somewhere in the 5 range. Like that
sounds about right.
He's got a decent like tenor, straight up. He can also definitely do a baritone for sure, but
and he can do like he's good at vibrato. So like his vocals are not super complicated, but they're good for what he's trying to do. He's one of those people that his music feels very utilitarian in the sense that it's like it's just in service of getting out this one idea, and typically the one idea is either like a riff or a chorus, like depending on the song. And I don't know, Zakk Wylde's okay. He's fun to make fun of, but
he's very
okay.
memeable. But at the same time, he's also very talented as well, and I recognize that. It's just I don't care because he's funnier than he is talented. To me.
Sure. I have so like I liked Black Label Society a lot when I was younger. I remember I know you know. When I met you, I had a Black Label Society shirt. It was an XL, And if you don't know, I'm a very skinny man.
No.
So, like, I don't know why I was wearing a fucking XL BLS shirt in 2004, but I was.
That's sick, dog.
And, I mean, I guess that was the style at the time. But I liked that band a lot when I was, like, kind of learning guitar. And then I very quickly just, like, I don't know, got into different stuff. I never, like, had, like, a falling out with that band. I was just like, I don't care about this anymore because I'm better at guitar and I'm interested in different stuff.
Yeah.
And I came back to it recently just to like kind of see what it's like, 15 years and change removed,
Mm-hmm.
And like a lot of those songs still hit. Like Stoned and Drunk is a banger. The song is so good. Like you can't deny it. It's good. Even some songs on Hangover Music Volume 2. That record has some good songs on it.
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, they're competent. They're serviceable for exactly what they are. They're pretty catchy. I get why people are into it. I don't get why people wear like BLS colors, like they're in some kind of fucking
like
biker
it's
gang.
a gang.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
It's a motorcycle
it's like,
gang.
It's like seeing a guy wearing like Sons of Anarchy colors. You're like, dude,
Is
what?
Is there a Black Label Society gang in Sons of Anarchy? I've never watched it.
No, there isn't. But that'd be amazing if there was like a crossover of like Sons of Anarchy versus Black Label Society bike gangs that don't exist.
Yes.
I would actually love that shit. That'd be fucking funny.
I would watch the shit out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Just make a show starring Zakk Wylde and where he just pretends to be a biker because he's not a real biker. Like that's the thing that's like funny to me is like all these
he rides bikes, but
does he?
I think he does.
So that's the thing. I don't know if he does. Like, I think people just like to think he does. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I guess he could be into that sort of stuff. It's just like there's a lot of like motorcycle based imagery surrounding that band, and like I'm not so sure how much of a motorcycle connection they have in real life, or if it's just like manufactured / imagined.
Yeah.
Do we need to type Zakk Wylde motorcycle into Google and see what happens?
That's exactly what I just did.
Good.
Apparently, Black Label Society and people wearing their colors have had a lot of trouble in Europe with their motorcycle
it's like
clubs.
Sweden, right? Aren't they like a gang?
Yeah, well no. So back in 2005, Zakk had to cancel a show in Manchester, England, due to threats from the Satan Slaves Motorcycle Club. According to the reports at the time, members from 2 or 3 outlaw motorcycle clubs got into Zakk's soundcheck and demanded that all merchandise featuring the 3-piece BLS patch be removed from the sales booth, as it bared a close resemblance to the 3-piece patch of a rival club, the Satan Slaves Motorcycle Club.
Okay. What happened? He just canceled the show and was like, fuck you guys?
Yeah, they canceled the whole show because of that, which tells me that Zakk Wylde is super tough.
That seems like the right call, though, honestly. Like honestly, like if that was... If like a motorcycle gang was like, hey, your merch looks like a rival motorcycle gang, and because of that, we're going to be at the show, and they might come to the show, and that means like propensity for violence at that point.
Well,
right?
They just demanded that they pull all this stuff with like the motorcycle looking colors.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't do that, but I would probably cancel the show. I'd probably be like, I'm not dealing with this.
I just probably opt to never opt gang culture into my image and not be tough enough to back it up. That's fucking dumb.
Well,
no, that's like seriously.
No,
he
I
knew,
agree.
He knew what he was doing, and then he like pushes like, no, seriously, Zakk Wylde. If you're listening to this, you're not.
Let's pretend Zakk is listening.
You can't project an image without backing it up. That's fucking bullshit. Straight up. That's all it is.
I agree.
That's all it is. And
that's why I'm asking. Does Zakk Wylde
the thing I appreciate about Buckethead is he has an image And he backs it up. He's like, hey, I'm weird, and guess what? He's fucking weird. He's fucking weird, man.
He's fucking weird.
Bucket weird.
Bucket weird. Yeah, I don't know, man. Listen to Blessed Hell Red.
Yeah,
Just do it.
I mean, you know, it's good music, but like, hey, don't use gang imagery if you're not in a gang. Just don't fucking do it. It's a bad idea. It's only gonna lead to trouble, and it's only gonna lead to you looking like a fucking idiot. Like, there's a guy who I work with who I actually really like as a person, but he has a Sons of Anarchy shirt he wears a bunch, and I'm like, oh my god.
Cool.
You know,
What's up with that? Like shirts for TV shows? That doesn't seem like a thing I would want. I don't know.
No, yeah, it's weird, right? It's so oddly consumerist.
Well, okay, I guess like, okay, I would wear a shirt for Venture Brothers. But like that's like the only show I could think of that I would wear a shirt for.
I might wear a shirt for like What We Do in the Shadows. That'd be sick.
Maybe, yeah.
Oh no, Fargo. I'd definitely wear a Fargo shirt.
Isn't that just a sweater?
Yeah.
Anyways, Britt, hey, what you been doing? What you been consuming? What's your media intake? Recommend me something.
As I said earlier, I've you know, I was forced into a quarantine confinement for a little while.
So you consumed hella fucking media. Is what
you
you're
have
saying.
no idea. I mean, I watched and caught up on 5 different shows. So I'm gonna just go down here.
Go down the list. Oh, go down, huh?
I caught up on The Expanse, which I believe the next season drops tomorrow, or the first 3 episodes of it.
Well, 3 episodes of it are out now.
Yeah, which I'm super stoked for.
I'm gonna wait for the whole season to drop before I stream it.
I might too. Because I really like the show, but I really like
it's so
binging
fucking good.
So,
that's probably my favorite show that's happening right now. It's just so cool.
It's a really good one.
The whole the way that they describe that universe, the way that universe is built out, and the way the different factions play against each other. All that stuff, and then like the main plot line driving it forward, like it's all so good. All the characters are so good. The visuals are amazing. Like
especially when it gets to season 4, the CGI is next goddamn level. It's like beyond.
It looks like a movie.
No, it's better than most space movies. It's so good. It's crazy good.
Yeah, it show's fucking awesome. Can't recommend it enough. Don't recommend the fucking audiobooks for the books, though. Let me tell you. Have I complained about this on the show yet?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, God. Okay, so I watched The Expanse, and I really liked it, and I was like, cool, I should read the book. I had actually already read the first book, so I was like, cool, I'm going to do a quick recap of the first book, and then I will read the second book. Well, I ended up just reading the first book again. And so after that, I was like, cool, I'm going to start reading the second book. So I started listening to the audiobook. So I was like, cool, I can just listen to this while I like solder pedals together and shit like that. I was like, cool. So listening to it. But the dude who reads the audiobooks mispronounces shit a lot. Like character names, like just individual words. He just mispronounces them. And it's really irritating. And it got to a point where I couldn't listen to it anymore. I was like, dude, this is driving me fucking nuts. Like, you just keep mispronouncing shit. So I found the authors of the books. It's like
you did tell me about this. Yeah.
I found them on Twitter, and I sent them messages, and I was like, hey, do you is there any quality control for your audiobooks? Because homeboy that reads them mispronounces shit all the time, and it's super irritating. And they didn't respond to me.
Man, we should try to do an audiobook together. I think that'd be fun.
Oh, that would be great. I would love that. Oh, why don't we write a novel together where we each write the perspective of a different character? Like I write all the chapters for my character and you write all the chapters for your character, and we just alternate back and forth. And then when we read the audiobook, we read each other's characters.
Oh, dude, that's gay as fuck.
It's so gay.
I'm kind of about it. That sounds dope.
Hell yeah.
Oh. But yeah, no, that's sick. Expanse is great. I haven't read the books at all.
They're really similar to the show.
Excellent. That sounds great. Then after that, I went ahead and watched The Boys, as you recommended several episodes ago. Watched all of it. Really good. Really good. Really enjoy it. And this is coming from a person who generally hates superhero things, because I don't believe superhero things are realistic. Yeah. One sec, I got the piece of kale in my throat here. Get down there, kale. There we go. Yeah, so every single lead in the show is fantastic. The storyline goes perfectly. It streams and binges super well. I would highly recommend, if you don't like superhero stuff but kind of like superhero stuff, because I do like some superhero material. I'd say the last superhero film I really enjoyed and still do enjoy was maybe non-ironically, the first Batman that Tim Burton did is fucking awesome.
Okay.
And then ironically, I absolutely love Batman and Robin.
Oh, dude, Batman and Robin is
it's so good.
Classic.
I
see you.
I mean, it's so bad, and that's why I love it. But
Britt, what killed the dinosaurs?
What killed the dinosaurs?
What killed the dinosaurs, Britt? The Ice Age.
Oh, was that a
it's an Arnold Schwarzenegger line in that movie, and it's great. It's fucking beautiful and perfect.
He's beautiful in that movie, and just
dude,
just hamming up on. I mean, he plays the same character he did in fucking The Running
Twins.
Man.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But he's suddenly evil.
Yeah, so that whole movie is the most cheesy cringe bullshit. It's so great. I remember seeing it as a kid. So it came out in 97, right? I remember going to see it in the theater. I actually saw it in the theater twice.
Whoa.
I really liked it when I was a kid. I thought it was cool. And then I remember really liking it. And then I remember seeing all of the reviews of critics really bashing the shit out of that movie. And I remember reading the reviews as a kid in the newspaper, the Anchorage Daily News from Alaska. And I remember reading that and being I actually agree with these critics. These points that they're making, I definitely noticed these things. That said, I still liked it as a kid because it is like Joel Schumacher said during the filming of the film, it is a live action cartoon.
Exactly.
And,
no, it is a live action comic book. It is super fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, he made a live action cartoon, and it's fucking. It's so ridiculous. It's so over the top that it's really something else. I'm glad that film exists because it's so ridiculous.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird that people cannot canonize and just absolutely love Batman the Animated Series. And at the same time just shit all over Batman and Robin. Because stylistically, they're actually fairly similar.
Oh, wow. I hope you get a lot of hate mail for that.
I will. So I love Batman the Animated Series is probably my favorite cartoon of all time.
It's fucking so good.
It's incredible on every except for actually Samurai Jack is probably my very favorite.
Oh yeah, Samurai Jack is. But you know what show reminds me a lot of Samurai Jack is The Mandalorian. Reminds me of
You're not wrong.
Samurai Jack.
I really love, and so actually I'm going to use that to segue into my next recommendation. And something I think you should check out more, to be honest, even though you gave up on it after checking it out, is The Witcher. Okay. It has, it's like a fantasy series with that type of protagonist, a guy who just doesn't talk. And it's great. The character building and the world building you can do with someone who doesn't really express anything.
It's pretty rad.
It is fantastic.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a spicy take here.
Do it.
People aren't gonna like it.
No.
They never like it when I say this.
Mhm.
Okay. The main reason I have not given The Witcher show more of a try
Mhm.
is I fucking hated The Witcher 3, the game. I
Really?
fucking despise that game.
Okay.
I don't ever want to spend any more of my time playing it, and I hate that they gave him $11 for that fucking game.
So, you only played less than 15 hours of that game.
I played about 10 hours of that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That's all I'm gonna
And
say.
I hated
Because
it.
after like 15 hours, I didn't.
you even played
yeah. I beat it. I
You
didn't.
beat The Witcher 3?
Yeah.
Really?
Like probably
I didn't
like a
know
year
that.
ago. Yeah.
Okay, we never talked
No,
about that.
I've had it for a couple of years, but I beat it like a year ago. It's. I mean, honestly, yeah. And I get your perspective. The world building is kind of slow.
Well,
I will be honest. The combat system takes some getting used to, but once you get good at it, it's fucking incredible. And honestly, my favorite combat system in any fantasy game ever.
okay.
Right. The way the lore builds in the game is actually kind of similar to the show, and it's amazing. Like, the conversations you have with people carry over to other conversations you have with other people.
Okay.
The actions that you do, like, become legend, and, like, bards sing of your tales and specific things that you did. And it's the world building, like, implemented in that game is fucking unreal. And I would say unparalleled, except by maybe some of the best, like, Skyrim mods.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I
had two main problems with the game.
Mm-hmm.
My first problem was just how the character moved and interacted with the world. This was my main problem with the game. I hated the way the character moved. I hated the way the character interacted with the world. The combat, incredibly not what I'm looking for out of a game like that.
Okay.
That being said, like, it was more like, so, like, right, what comes to mind immediately is, like, riding a horse through in that game is just a pain in the ass. Like, I was always like going off the fucking roads.
The horse physics is the worst part of that game for sure.
Yeah, and like I hated that part of it, and I hated just the way the character moved, and I was always like, I just remember rolling into rocks all the fucking time. Like, that was what I remember from that game. My second main problem with that game is that the background, like, ambient music that plays when you're in the world does not pause or change when you start a conversation with another character in the game.
That's true.
And it's super fucking loud. And because of that, like, it felt like every conversation was
You can turn down the music volume, you know.
I know, but every conversation was given this, like, weird, like, mournful tone to it, even if it was supposed to be like a funny conversation. And so it felt like the tone was just, like, all over the place, and it made it really hard for me to get immersed in it.
I could see that. Yeah, so I didn't feel immersed in the game until at least like 10 to 15 hours straight up. And I would recommend, like, playing it beyond where you did, because or maybe I'm just restarting it, because it's a very fulfilling game. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I know a lot of people really like that game, and I'm not really
no, I mean, it won, like,
saying,
Game of the Year from everywhere that year. Because after they patched it a couple times, it became an incredible game.
Yeah.
And, you know, the series is pretty similar. It follows a lot of the same... I mean, it's not the same story at all.
Yeah.
Because it kind of starts out, I guess, with the first Witcher novel, and the third Witcher game starts out with... I don't even know what novel.
Yeah, that's... Yeah, I don't know.
But,
I don't know.
Yeah. Still very good. Henry Cavill is a fucking hunk. God, that dude's so sexy.
That's the dude that played Superman, right?
Yeah, it is. But so he
Brandon Routh is a better Superman.
That's fine, but Henry Cavill was, like, big into actually getting this produced, and he was one of the producers on it because he's really into the Witcher novels. which is a cool thing for any celebrity to be into.
Yeah,
so
totally.
Vin
What's
Diesel.
What's his name? Christopher Lee in Lord of the Rings, right?
Yeah, Christopher Lee in Lord of the Rings, because he was a huge fucking Tolkien stan, and the only person in the cast who had actually met Tolkien before he died. And also the only guy in the cast who had been stabbed. And so he acted as a consultant for when someone got stabbed in the movie. He's like, that's not how someone gets stabbed. Trust me, I've stabbed some Nazis. And that's what makes Christopher Lee the greatest anything of
Not
all
to mention
fucking
his
time.
metal albums.
Oh,
He has multiple metal albums thanks to fucking Luca Turilli.
Luca Turilli, so he wasn't on those albums.
No, I know, but Luca Turilli, like, it was like
He put him on the-
he
yeah.
got interested in metal.
Yeah,
You know?
which is amazing.
Because of Rhapsody, he was like, please do spoken word
So-
on my
so
nerdy
if-
D&D albums, please.
Yeah,
And then,
so
and he's like, I like this music.
That's going to be another one of my recommendations here. Is going to be Christopher Lee's, I believe, Constantine was the name of his album. And this is basically the entire story of Constantine, but Christopher Lee going like, and here he stood upon the ground. Well, like a subpar power metal band shreds behind him.
Yeah, exactly. It's like very mid-paced power metal. It's very slow.
Yeah.
It's like, and then he's like, and then we sang. And it's like,
It's not good. But you know what it is?
It's not good, but it's
bad.
amazing.
I love it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So another thing I would recommend here is a thing I think you talked shit on an episode or two ago.
Hit me.
Ozark.
Okay. Yeah, we talked about this a little bit the other day.
Yeah, we did. And you had a problem with it because there was this one scene where like this dude masturbates, or he doesn't masturbate. He has like porn on his computer. And like I think you completely misinterpreted that scene, to be honest. And I would recommend you go back and watch the entire show because it's fucking fantastic.
It's good. I've heard it's good. What's his name? Mike from Red Letter Media likes that show, so it's probably pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a very good show. It has a lot of echoes of like Breaking Bad, I'd say. But in all the right ways. It's different and it sets itself apart just enough to where it's not like Breaking Bad at all. But you can definitely see echoes in it.
I started watching a show the other day.
Yeah, what's that?
I started watching Westworld.
Oh yeah, you haven't watched that yet. Interesting.
No.
How are you liking it so far?
I don't care. It's fine. I don't know.
The first season's great, I thought. First season's wonderful.
I think it's fine.
No.
Meh. I don't know. We'll see. I'll keep watching it, but I don't know. I did watch something that was good, though, recently. I'm trying to remember what it was. I probably talked about it recently. Oh, I've been watching Letterkenny.
Oh, yeah. What's up?
Yeah, I talked to you about that the other day. It's good. It's good. Watch that. It's funny. The writing is really good, and the acting is good. And it's like Trailer Park Boys, but complicated. Like, so instead of like shitty dumb plots that are funny because they're shitty and dumb, it's like high concept stuff that's funny because it's like the characters are like rednecks, but the concepts are very in depth. And there's a lot of like, the dialogue is incredibly fast. Like, you have to watch it with subtitles. Like, I cannot understand that show without subtitles. It's so dense. And as it goes on, it keeps getting more and more dense. I'm in the 3rd season right now. And it's like, it's incredibly dense. Like, it's like, bro, like, what is happening? But I like how dense it is. It's very amusing. I would recommend that.
Okay.
That's it. So one thing that happened to me is I recently watched all of The Mandalorian. I hadn't watched it, but my mom and my brother kept talking about it so much that I was like, okay, fine, I'll watch it.
No, and that's another thing that I watched all of while I was sick. But what do you think of it?
I liked it a lot. It's great. It's
right.
really
It's so good. Like Jon Favreau.
And don't forget Dave Filoni from the Clone Wars.
Right. No, yeah. Both
who's
those
also big on
guys
the show.
are amazing
Yeah.
producers.
Yeah,
Jon Favreau like writes everything with a writing team, of course, but like he's a head
good.
writer of everything, which I find very impressive. Because dude,
it's good.
Dude just, I mean, he's fucking versatile. Like, did you see Chef?
No, I don't think I saw that.
I would so highly recommend Chef.
Okay.
It's a father-son film about like Jon Favreau like taking over a food truck.
Oh, right, that movie. That's on like Hulu.
It's
or something.
so good. I cannot tell you how good it is and how feel good of a movie it is. Like, I found myself like laughing and crying at the very end, and I'm like, man, what the fuck am I doing? I gotta stop getting this high, dog. But no, it's a fantastic, great film. He's just a powerhouse director, writer. He just gets people, and
Sure.
he's able to write them well.
I really like so Mandalorian is really good, and this is coming from the perspective of someone who, like, at this point, I will be honest, despite the fact that Star Wars occupies like an important part of my childhood,
We've talked about this on the podcast before.
I do not give a fucking shit about Star Wars.
We've
Like,
talked
I
about
don't
this before on the
fucking care.
podcast. Yeah.
I don't care at all.
Yeah.
And so that being said, this show is cool in the sense that it has name dropped and referenced like specific shit that happened in the extended universe novels from the 90s. Like I was
Shit's
like,
going straight
okay.
Zon, dog.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bro, they name dropped Thrawn. Thrawn, bro. Okay,
Yeah.
like that's
Thrawn.com,
digging into
dog.
that's digging into some deep nerd shit that I had buried down real deep in my soul. And like that coupled with like the way the show is done, and it's like kind of dark. It's kind of like it's definitely super gritty. Like it's not like the Star Wars films at all. It's very like it doesn't paint like the Republic in a good light.
No.
Or the Empire. It's very much
complicated,
like boots on the
like
ground
life
perspective.
is. Yeah.
Which is super interesting. Like that perspective has been really fun. I like seeing the weirdness of the Star Wars universe, and there's a lot of weird shit in this show, which is great. Like I think that is super fun. Like I feel like that show gets a bad rap.
From who?
Because of like the Baby Yoda memes and stuff. Because like
Baby Yoda's fine. It's
the way it's done in the show is so much different than the way
Oh.
that memes would have you believe it is.
Oh,
I mean, guess like
Baby Yoda is there and exists and is like a crux of the show, but Baby Yoda fucking rocks.
Yeah, he's
And
rad,
Baby Yoda's
actually.
cute, and like you don't need to give a fuck about Baby Yoda because like the show is still about the Mandalorian. Like,
Yeah,
it's
and it's directly about that dude, and his characterization is fucking fantastic.
it's so
the-
fantastically written, and it's
Yeah.
underwritten, which is beautiful. Like
Yeah,
it's a
there
great
are
show.
like long stretches of just no dialogue.
Mhm.
Like it's
I love it. Yeah,
It's phenomenal. Like
It-
I really can't say enough good things about it.
the
It's-
show
it's
is the
really
like a masterclass in show don't tell.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And the visuals are amazing. Like
Mhm.
it looks just like the fucking movies, right? It's like
No,
I don't feel like there's a production value hit for this
No,
show. Like it
definitely not.
looks amazing.
I mean,
And,
yeah,
like,
no, it has the same production value as like Rogue One.
Yeah.
Maybe not quite as good as any of the mainstream ones, but still, like they
But, like,
obviously
I
have
feel like-
a great budget, and
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. Like they don't rely on the special effects to make it good. Is the thing.
exactly. And like that's what's so important about it. Like
Mm-hmm.
like it has a lot of like big like showpiece events that happen in it that are really cool, like
Mm-hmm.
really cool sequences that are like, wow, this is awesome. But also like that's not why you watch that show. You watch the show because of the character. A character
So
who like very rare I can't spoil anything here, but
Yeah.
let's just say a character who is very often given no real ability to emote outside of the way it's shot, right? Because he's wearing a helmet,
right.
you know? And
And,
it's like
he's also a
it's-
Mandalorian too, so he doesn't typically show that much emotion.
Yeah. But like the way it has developed his character and the way it has showed like how he has developed connections to other characters in the show. Like the one thing that I think is really strong about that show is like they have a very at this point now in the second season, they have a pretty deep, like, recurring stable of characters that show up repeatedly. They don't show up in every episode, but
Bill Burr came back.
repeatedly.
I love that.
Yeah,
Oh,
totally.
so
And
good.
they keep bringing back these characters from like other episodes, and they have them do new things in the show, and it's really, really good. I am surprised at how much I like it, and I would recommend it to anyone.
Yeah,
Literally,
straight up.
who's just
It's
looking for a good
really
show to
like
watch.
a universally good show.
Even if you're like me and you fucking hate the direction Star Wars is going in the films, and like you're just not about it at all, still watch this. It's good.
No, honestly, this gives me a lot of hope in the Obi-Wan show because what's his face? Not Jon Favreau, the other guy who did the Clone Wars is going to be
Dave
show
Filoni.
running the Obi-Wan show.
Oh, that's the smartest shit I've ever heard
Exactly.
Disney doing.
And-
Is like
and that-
giving
and that's-
giving
yeah.
like the Star Wars show control over. Like giving the control over Star Wars shows to the people from the Clone Wars, because like that was like the one good Star Wars property of the last like
and like you and me
15
and my
years.
brother were talking about it the other day. Like the Clone Wars was straight up the best like Star Wars IP creation since the original trilogy. Straight up,
Yeah,
probably
like,
since
it's-
I'd say honestly the best thing Star Wars has done since Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, it
And,
like
then, and,
it
then,
fleshes
and then
out
after
the
that,
universe
like
in-
Rogue One was also amazing, and then The Mandalorian's amazing. Everything else,
yeah, like the Clone Wars fleshes out that universe in a really interesting way and is really good.
yeah. And then, I think we can both recommend you watch the Clone Wars.
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
animated
It's
series. It's
the first
fantastic.
season is very
The first
like,
two seasons are a little kiddish. They're
Yeah.
finding their footing. It's a lot of like Yoda with a lightsaber and like I don't know, very it definitely has a lot of echoes of the prequel films
Yeah.
in the first
But-
season or two,
but
but
then it
after
becomes,
that,
like,
like
something
season
else
3 and
entirely.
onward are amazing.
Yeah. It becomes like, yeah, really something else. Like, I cannot recommend that enough.
Yeah,
It's
super
great.
political, super philosophical. Definitely not
Yeah.
a kid's show, but it's framed as a kid's show, so it's like accessible for kids, which is weird.
Yeah.
But I
Even though
feel
it's
like adults will probably
it's
get
got
it
some
more.
like really heady ideas in there that's like very critical of war.
Yep.
It talks a lot about like an individual person's place in a war. Like what does a person mean to a war?
Yeah.
And like all that sort of stuff, which is like dark and heady for a fucking kids show. Like
Yeah.
it's really something else. Like
I'm here
I
for
don't
it,
know.
though.
Great show for
Yeah,
sure.
very good.
I remember when I started watching that, I was watching that with a person that I was dating at the time, and they were like, I don't want to watch some fucking animated Star Wars show. And I was like, yeah, me either, but I've like heard it's good and it's on this streaming service. Let's just check it out. And we stuck with it, and we both ended up becoming like huge fans of the show. And we were like, wow, like
That's
this
so
is
good.
so good. Like what the fuck? Like what happened? How did they make this show so good? Like it's pretty rad.
And like it rectifies so much of the prequels. Like it gives you context into, Anakin and Obi-Wan in
And
those
their
like, middle
relationship.
years.
And
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Because
why
it
it
takes
is the
place
way it is,
between episodes 2 and 3, right?
I think so.
I think that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, and so it's fascinating, honestly.
Yeah, really good. Really good.
Highly recommend it.
Yeah, dude. For sure.
Yeah.
I would also recommend. I have an anti-recommend.
Yeah. What's that?
Don't fucking be trying to buy a fucking PS5 right now because it's bullshit. I've
Yeah,
been
how many
trying
times
to
have you
fucking buy a
tried?
goddamn PS5 for so long, dude. Sucks. Hate it. Fuck you, Sony. Sony, if you're listening to this, fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you, man.
You sons of bitches.
Yeah, that's all I gotta say about that.
It's fair, dog.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've just been rocking and rolling,
That's good.
keeping it greasy.
That's how you gotta be, dog. Yeah. So if I want to find you online, where do I stalk you, dog?
At New Metal Karate Society on Instagram, and then I think I'm like at New Metal Cult everywhere else.
KULT, I'm guessing.
KVLT.
KVLT. Okay.
New Metal KVLT.
If you search up New Metal K on most things, you'll probably find him. Unless it's New Metal Karaoke, which is the
It's not me.
the generic brand version of Spenser. And maybe you should follow him too.
Sure, why not? That guy seems okay.
Yeah,
I think that's two
fine.
people actually that run that account.
Okay, yeah. Well, good.
Yeah, they
good
seem
for them.
alright.
Good for them.
Yeah.
If you want to follow me, you can find me on at the Queer Goth most places.
Yeah.
And you can follow us as a podcast at Bucketcast on Instagram.
Totally.
I
should make us a Twitter.
I think I made us a Twitter, to be honest.
Oh, fantastic. Can we just like say fucking bullshit nonsense on that Twitter all the time? Because like I really want to do that.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Let me figure that out. I think I made us one.
Cool.
When I made us like an email address. You can also find us at gettinhead.biz.
Mm-hmm. Our business is head.
Our business is getting head, dog. I mean, I want to get Buckethead.
Business head.
Business head.
Business head.
Business head.
Business head.
Yeah. You want to wrap this fella up?
Yeah.
All right. So
I'm ready to wrap it up.
This has been Britain.
And this has been Spencer. You've been listening to Gettin' Head, a Bucketcast.
Stay greasy, bucket boy.
Outro music, 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 outro music.
Outro.